Jake Tapper of CNN is going to speak to Israeli Minister of Education, Naftali Bennett, and this is about the UN resolution on illegal Israeli settlements. And this feels like it's straight out of the Twilight Zone. It's either something from the Twilight Zone or something that's like a skit, like a Benny Hill skit. Is Benny Hill, is that? I think that's like the British sketch comedy thing. I was going to go with SNL, but they haven't really been very funny recently, so I'm not going to go with SNL. But anyway, I feel horrible for people in Israel who have this absolute buffoon as their Minister of Education, and you'll see why in a second.
Minister Bennett, the vote in the UN Security Council resolution, as you know, was 14 in favor of the anti-settlements resolution, 1 abstention in the United States. Now your government, the Netanyahu government, is taking steps to curb diplomatic relations with countries that include the UK, France, Spain, Ukraine, and on, New Zealand, Egypt. Is Israel not isolating itself from the rest of the world by not taking the message that people think that these settlements are a true impediment to peace?
You just said twice the term settlements. You know, we're not occupying any land. One cannot occupy his own home. This city behind me is Jerusalem. It's been our capital for 3,000 years, way before London was the British capital, and way before Washington, D.C. was the American capital. These are not settlements. We've got about 650,000 Israelis living in Jerusalem, in East Jerusalem, and Judea and Samaria. Big cities. You know, one might imagine a small tent on a hill. That's not what we're talking about. We've been here for thousands of years. We're staying here. We're going to live side by side in peace with the Arabs here, but not by forcing our hand and not by a Security Council decision that's giving backwind to the worst terrorists in the world, because they say here the only free democracy that's fighting terror is being thrown under the bus.
You're proving my point, because you're even disputing the idea that it's occupied territory or settlements. The entire international community, with the exception of the Netanyahu government, thinks it is.
But absolutely I'm disputing that. How long have Americans been living in America?
How long have Americans been living in America?
That's correct. A few hundred years. How long have Jews been living in the Holy Land? 4,000 years. So how dare anyone call the land of Israel occupied territory? How dare anyone? This has been our home forever and will be our home forever. Yes, there's Arabs here. Some of them are in our parliament, and we have freedom that no other Middle East country has, and we're proud of it. We will prevail even when we're trying to be forced down a bad path.
Well, I think a lot of people who live on the West Bank would dispute the notion that they have freedom. But Minister Bennett, we thank you for your time. Happy Hanukkah. We appreciate it.
That was hilarious. He's like, settlements? Bitch, you talking about settlements? Settlements? What settlements? You talking about settlements? Settlements? What you talking about settlements? I don't even know what does that mean? What does settlements even mean? Settlements? What? What are you saying? Settlements? I don't know what you're talking about with settlements. There's no occupation. Bitch, what are you talking about? Occupation? I don't know what you're talking about. Occupation. Occupation. There's no occupation. It reminds me of the Chappelle Show skit where where he's Black Bush, and they're like, some people are saying you're in the Middle East for oil. He's like, oil? You talking about oil? Bitch, you cooking? Talking about oil. And he knocks over the glass and he starts running. That's what that reminded me of. Occupation? You talking about occupation? Settlements? You talking about settlements? I don't even know what settlements are. Settlements? Settlements? There's no occupation. Like, dude, come on. Come on, man. Like, I feel like he doesn't even realize he's proving all of his critics correct, because he makes the most preposterous, over-the-top, ridiculous claims that the entire international community now has officially said, and it's 14-0 was the vote at the UN, that, yeah, let's recognize the obvious. These are illegal settlements. They're illegal under international law. That's not your land. Stop building them. And he goes out there, he's like, settlements. There aren't even settlements. So it's not even like he's saying, sure, the settlements exist, and I disagree with you that they're illegal. He's not even claiming that. He's saying, settlements. What are you talking about, settlements? There are no settlements. What does that even mean? What? Like, what are you saying? What are you fucking saying? Occupation. There's no occupation. That's weird, because under international law, and the international community has repeatedly stated, here's your border, you are past your border, these are illegal settlements, and it is an occupation of Palestinian land. He's like, occupation? What does that even mean? There's no occupation. Like, when you reject the most basic facts, like, how am I supposed to think that you're an honest actor to try to get peace? You're not. You're not an honest actor, and you're not trying to get peace. You don't care about that. You don't care about being honest, and you don't care about getting peace. Because if you did, you'd say, okay, look, we got an issue here, and let's try to fix it. You're saying there's not even an issue. There's no issue. What are you talking about? Any Palestinians or fucking people who care about human rights at the international level, get over it. You misread the situation. We're right about everything. They're wrong about everything. There is not even an issue here to be discussed. It's just so gross, man. And then notice he did the trick there. We spoke about this trick yesterday. You're going to see this time and time and time again. Why? I don't know why you're picking on the only free democracy in the Middle East. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nobody said, hey, Israel, we're against you because you're a free democracy. Not a single person said that. What they said is, you are doing illegal occupation. You're doing occupation, you're doing settlements, you're doing apartheid, and you're oppressing the Palestinians. That's the issue. Why are you deflecting? That's all that is a deflection. They're not addressing the actual criticism against them. They're building a straw man and then knocking it down. Why are you attacking the only free democracy? Whoa, whoa, we're not attacking you because you're a free democracy. So that's the trick. The trick is, we believe in liberal values. Why are you attacking us? I guess you don't believe in liberal values. No, nobody said that. We agree that in Israel's borders, your treatment of women domestically, your treatment of gays and minorities domestically is better. We applaud that. That doesn't wash away or absolve everything you've done to the Palestinians, which is illegal and wrong and illiberal. Because you treat gays good doesn't mean that the last time Netanyahu did a bomb fest in Gaza and killed 80% civilians, or even more than that, that's okay. Hey, we mean well because we treat gays well. Therefore, when we occupy and we do settlements and we act illegally under international law, I mean, you got to excuse that. No, I'm not going to excuse that. I can give you credit for treating minorities good in your borders domestically, and I can come after you for saying, hey, you're violating international law and you're oppressing the Palestinians and you're doing settlements and this is wrong. And then final thing is, it's hilarious because what you get oftentimes is the claim will be made, look, I mean, what are you going to do? The Palestinians are religious Muslim fundamentalists. They're crazy people. How are you going to deal with them? So, the problem is their religiosity. Now, am I absolving all Muslim fundamentalism in the region? Of course not. Are there some among the Palestinians that are definitely fundamentalists, and that shapes their worldview, and there is a deep-seated religious hatred of the other? Of course that exists. But did you notice what he said there? He slipped it in there. He slipped it in. I wasn't sure if you caught it. He goes, well, this is our land, and we've been on the Holy Land for, thousands of years, he said. So you're also making a religious claim to the land. It ain't just them. It's not just them saying, hey, our religion says this is our land. You just did it. And you are, let me remind you, the Israeli Minister of Education. Forgive me for not being totally on board with the curriculum that dipshit would come up with. The dipshit who's like, settlements? What settlements? Occupation? There's no occupation. That guy who just said, hey, this is the Holy Land, and this is our Holy Land. Well, if you're making a religious claim to the land also, then you are not a partner for peace, because you're saying, hey, it's divinity, man. It's divine. This is eternally our land. And you see this all the time with the evangelical Christians in the U.S. They say, no, you can't split up Israel. You can't split it up because in the Bible, if you split it up, God's going to get mad. So that's not okay. God will punish you if you try to divide the land of Israel. That's the claim he's making here too. He's saying this is the Holy Land. What am I going to do? I can't make a deal. I can't do two states. I can't give the Palestinians freedom. I can't give them their own state? What are you, crazy? It's because of religion. So you're also a fundamentalist. That was hard to watch, man. But it's okay, because I assume that what they'll do is, so this is a hardline right-wing, representative of Israel. I assume CNN is working on bringing in a right-wing Palestinian now too, right? Of course not. Of course not. They would never. If you look at the numbers, there's been an analysis from independent media looking at mainstream media. So, okay, break it down. When they talk about Israel, what percentage of people are Israeli, what percentage are Palestinian, and it's unbelievably disproportionate. You almost only get the Israeli view. You never get the Palestinian view. And basic facts are almost never brought up. There was a conversation the other day that went on for like a fucking hour before anybody even mentioned the word occupation. You think when you're talking about illegal Israeli settlements that were just condemned, you're talking about the occupation, that maybe you should bring up the occupation? No. Our ally Israel doesn't like that, so shh. Make it seem they're all bad, we're all good, end of conversation. We didn't do anything. Israel, we didn't do anything. I don't know what I was talking about. There's no problem here. It's just so gross and so transparent, and that was hard to watch.